The scooter skidded, metal shrieked, and the sound of something expensive being ruined sliced through the quiet parking lot. Hannah gasped so sharply it hurt her throat. Her hands flew off the handlebars too late. The front of her old blue scooter had scraped in a long, ugly line across the side of a sleek black car that looked like it belonged in a movie, not beside a discount grocery store. For a second, she couldn't move. Rain tapped softly on the pavement. A shopping cart rattled somewhere in the distance. Her heart pounded loud enough to drown everything else. "No, no, no, no," she whispered. She jumped off the scooter and rushed to the car, staring at the damage. The scratch cut through the glossy paint like a scar. Her stomach twisted. This is bad. This is really bad. She looked around. The lot was nearly empty. She could leave. No one had seen. Her scooter was already dented everywhere. One more mark didn't matter. Her fingers trembled against her jacket pocket. "I can't run," she murmured to herself. "I can't." She pulled out a small notepad she used for work reminders and tore out a page. The paper was slightly wrinkled. She leaned against her scooter seat and wrote, slowly, carefully, like each letter mattered. "I'm so sorry. I scratched your car by accident. I don't have much money, but I promise I'll pay for the damage. Please call me. I won't disappear." She hesitated, then added a tiny smiley face at the bottom without thinking. She always did that when she was nervous. She tucked the note under the windshield wiper, bowed once toward the car out of habit, then hurried off on her rattling scooter, rain soaking into her sleeves. She didn't see the black SUV parked at the far end of the lot. She didn't see the men inside. And she definitely didn't know the car she'd scratched belonged to Kang Min-Jae. Who did this? The question wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. For men stood in the underground garage of a private building hours later, staring at the long scratch across the side of the black sedan. Their suits were sharp. Their faces were not. One of them swallowed. "We found this under the wiper, boss." He held out the damp note with 2 careful fingers. Kang Min-Jae took it. He was dressed in black from collar to shoes, his expression carved from something colder than stone. A thin scar ran along his jaw, disappearing into his collar. He read the note once. Then again. The men waited for the explosion. Instead, silence stretched. His thumb brushed over the tiny smiley face. "She left her number," one of the men said cautiously. "We can track her in minutes." Min-Jae folded the note neatly. "You already did." "Yes." "Who is she?" "A college student. Part-time jobs. No record. Lives in a small apartment. Sends money to her mother in Busan. Medical bills." Min-Jae's gaze didn't lift from the paper. "Did she try to hide?" "No, boss." "Did she run cameras, check blind spots, look around before leaving?" "No." Another pause. "She bowed to the car," the man added, confused. "Our dash cam caught it." Min-Jae's lips twitched almost invisibly. She apologized to an empty car. "What are your orders?" They were ready for the usual command. Find her, scare her, make an example. Instead, Min-Jae said, "No threats. No visits." The men exchanged glances. Then, "I'll handle it." Hannah practiced her apology 3 times in the cafe bathroom mirror. "I'm really sorry about your car." Too stiff. "I'm very, very sorry." Too desperate. She exhaled. "I'll just tell the truth." Her phone buzzed in her apron pocket. She froze. Unknown number. She wiped her hands on a paper towel and answered. "Hello." A man's voice, calm and low. "You left a note on my car." Her stomach dropped. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scratch it. I tried to park, but the ground was wet, and I'll pay, I promise. I just need time." There was a brief silence. "Where are you now?" he asked. "At work. Bean House Cafe. I finish at 4, but I can stay later if." "I'll come by." The line clicked dead. Hannah stared at her phone. "He's coming here," she whispered. Her coworker Mina peeked around the corner. "You okay? You look like you saw a ghost." "I might have ruined someone's car." Mina winced. "How rich?" "Very. Pray he's nice." Hannah nodded, though she wasn't hopeful. At 3:12 p.m., the cafe door opened. The air changed. Hannah didn't know why she noticed him immediately. He wasn't loud. He wasn't flashy. He wore a simple dark coat and no tie. But people near the door instinctively moved aside. He walked to the counter. She recognized him from the car's reflection in the dashcam photo she'd taken in panic. Same sharp features. Same unreadable eyes. She bowed so fast she almost hit the register. "I'm so sorry about your car." A few customers turned to stare. He studied her for a long moment. She looked exactly like the report. Small frame, tired eyes, hands that couldn't stop fidgeting. "You're the one who left the note," he said. "Yes, sir. I scratched it. I wrote my number so you could contact me. I didn't want to run away." "I noticed." She pulled an envelope from her apron and pushed it toward him with both hands. "This is all I have right now. I can give more every month." He didn't touch it. "How much is in there?" She swallowed. $200. "That won't cover the paint." "I know." Her voice shook. "But I'll keep paying. I wrote a payment plan. I can skip lunch and—" "Don't skip lunch." She blinked. He glanced at the menu. "One Americano." "Oh. Yes. Of course." Her hands trembled as she made the coffee. She brought it to him at a corner table, then stood there awkwardly. "You can sit," he said. I should be working." "Sit." She sat. He slid the envelope back to her. "Buy me coffee once in a while. We'll call it even." Her eyes widened. "No, I can't. It's my fault." "You were honest. That doesn't fix the scratch. It fixes something else." She didn't understand, but relief flooded her so hard she almost cried. "Thank you. Really. I'll still save money just in case." He took a sip of coffee, watching her over the rim. "What's your name?" "Hannah." "I'm Min-Jae." She smiled nervously. "Thank you for not yelling at me, Min-Jae SSI." No one called him that. He didn't correct her. That night, in a warehouse office lit by a single hanging bulb, a man was dragged across the floor and dropped at Min-Jae's feet. "He's been skimming from the port shipments," one of Min-Jae's lieutenants said. "For months." The man on the floor sobbed. "I was going to pay it back." Min-Jae's expression didn't change. "You lied." "I was scared." "So was the girl who scratched my car," Min-Jae said quietly. "She didn't lie." The room went still. "Handle it," he told his men, turning away. As he walked out, he pulled out his phone and stared at a contact saved only as Hannah, Cafe. He didn't call. But he didn't delete it either. Days turned into a routine. Min-Jae started stopping by the cafe once or twice a week. Always alone. Always simple clothes. Hannah would panic, then relax when she saw him. "You're here again," she said one afternoon, placing a pastry in front of him. "This one's slightly burned so it's free." "I didn't order food." "You look like you forgot to eat." He raised an eyebrow. "You can tell. You drink coffee like it's a meal." He almost smiled. "Is that bad?" "Yes. Very." She sat for a moment during her break. "Did you fix the scratch?" "Yes." "Was it expensive?" "Yes." Her shoulders slumped. "I'm still sorry." "I know." She hesitated. "What do you do for work?" He held her gaze. "Import and export." "Oh." She nodded like that explained everything. "Sounds complicated." "It is." She told him about her classes, her mom's hospital visits, the way she hated group presentations. He listened. Really listened. No one in his world talked about things like that. One evening, she handed him a small paper bag. "For you." Inside was a cheap keychain shaped like a tiny scooter. "You said you liked that I didn't run," she said, embarrassed. "So, something to remember me by?" But not in a weird way. "Sorry, that sounded weird." He closed his hand around it. "It's not weird." It was the first gift he'd received in years that wasn't a weapon or a bribe. Not everyone was happy. In a dim bar across the river, a rival gang leader watched photos on a tablet. Min-Jae sitting in a cafe. Min-Jae walking a girl to a bus stop. Min-Jae holding an umbrella over her. "That's Kang Min-Jae," he scoffed. "Playing boyfriend?" "She's nothing," one of his men said. "Student." "Poor." "Nothing can still be leverage." Hannah didn't notice the car that started appearing near the cafe at night. She didn't notice the man who pretended to be on his phone while watching her lock up. But Min-Jae's men did. "She's being watched," his lieutenant reported. By who? Seo Jin's people. Min-Jae's jaw tightened. Keep distance. Don't let her see you. And if they move? Then we move first. It happened on a Tuesday. Hannah left work late, exhausted. Rain had started again, soft but steady. She pulled her hood up and walked toward the bus stop. A van rolled slowly beside the curb. She frowned and walked faster. The van matched her speed. Her heart began to race. The side door slid open. Before anyone could step out, headlights flooded the street from both directions. Black cars boxed the van in. Doors flew open. Men in suits moved fast and silent. The van door slammed shut. It reversed wildly, nearly hitting a pole, then sped away. Hannah stood frozen. A familiar figure stepped out of one of the black cars. Min-Jae, she whispered. He walked to her, face hard in a way she'd never seen. Are you hurt? No. What's happening? He glanced at his men. Go. They melted back into the cars and drove off, leaving the street eerily quiet. She looked at him, at the tension in his shoulders. Who were those people? He didn't answer right away. Min-Jae, she said softly, fear creeping in. What kind of job do you really have? He exhaled slowly. Not a good one. Her voice shook. Are you dangerous? Yes. She stared at him, tears mixing with rain. Why didn't you tell me? Because when you look at me, you don't see that man. Maybe I deserve to know. I didn't want you to be afraid of me. I am, she whispered. But not just of you. Of whatever world you're in. He nodded once. You should stay away from me. The words hurt him more than any blade ever had. He didn't go back to the cafe. Days passed. Hannah checked the door every time it opened. Nothing. Mina nudged her. Your serious coffee guy ghosted you? He was never my guy, Hannah said, though her chest ached. At closing time a week later, she found an envelope on the counter with her name. Inside was more money than she'd ever held at once. And a note in neat handwriting. For the car. For your mother. I'm sorry I brought trouble into your life. Thank you for the scratch. It fixed something in me. She clutched the note, tears falling onto the ink. Outside, an engine started. She ran. Min-Jae was getting into a black car at the curb. She grabbed his sleeve. Don't disappear like that, she said, breathless. He looked at her hand on his coat, then at her face. It's safer if I do. Nothing feels safe anyway, she said. At least let me choose. You know what I am now. Yes. Her voice trembled. And I'm still here. He searched her eyes for hesitation. There was fear. But also something stronger. I don't want your money, she said, pushing the envelope back. Just, don't lie to me anymore. For the first time in a long time, Kang Min-Jae didn't know what to say. So he nodded. Trouble didn't vanish. It escalated. Seo Jin's gang hit one of Min-Jae's warehouses. A warning. No casualties, just fire and a message. Because of the girl, his lieutenant said. Min-Jae stared at the flames on the security feed. Then we end this fast. What about her? He thought of Hannah's stubborn face in the rain. Double protection. Quiet. That night, he sat across from Hannah in a small diner far from both their worlds. So, you fight other criminals? She asked carefully. Yes. And people listen to you? Yes. She poked her rice with chopsticks. You could get hurt. So could you. That's why I tried to leave. She looked up. You don't get to decide alone anymore. A faint, surprised huff of air left him. Almost a laugh. Eat, she said, pushing a dish toward him. You think better when you eat. He obeyed. Weeks later, Seo Jin was arrested after an anonymous tip led police to a massive shipment. His organization fractured overnight. Min-Jae watched the news silently. His lieutenant approached. We're clear. For now. Min-Jae nodded. Start moving assets out of the old routes. Slowly. You're really planning to step back? Yes. Because of her? Yes. The man shook his head in disbelief. A scratch on a car. Min-Jae looked down at the tiny scooter keychain hanging from his keys. Changed everything. Spring came. Hannah rode a brand new scooter, helmet slightly too big, laughing as Min-Jae walked beside her in plain clothes. You didn't have to buy this, she said. You would have saved for years. I would have managed. I know. She nudged him. Coffee later? Only if you don't burn the pastry. No promises. He actually laughed, soft and real. If you made it this far, you already know this wasn't just a story about a scratch on a car. It was about how one small honest choice can crash into a life built on fear and change its direction forever. So before you go, tap like if you believe even the hardest people can change, and tell me in the comments, would you have left the note or driven away? And if you want more emotional stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. You never know which small moment might lead to the next big story.